Welcome to Rugby M here on Free Sports. Another fantastic week of the show. Bumper week on figures once again. Are you back? My partner in crime, Jamie Jones Buchanan. I thought you'd have a better tan from Australia, mate, if I'm honest.
I've never been one for needing a tan, to be honest with you. But it was good. It was a good trip, Simo. Learned loads about Australia. Our heads of department from Leeds Rhinos went over, so it wasn't just about what was going on the pitch, it was what we could learn off the pitch as well, and really fruitful experience.
Well, in the studio, Jonesy, we've got someone returning. He's got his own catchphrase now. He's trying to get it into all the fans. The Warrington legend, Paul Wood.
Yes.
Thanks for having me again, Simo. You love that one.
There it is. We'll just put a hashtag on screen there. You love that one. You also brought the legend that is the comeback kid, the one, the only Mickey Hyam. Mickey.
Pleasure to be on, thank you.
Mate, it's great to have you here. And obviously, we've seen you recently talking about transition, talking about retirement. With your good friend Shandy Bass doing a bit of filming, and I believe it took one or two outtakes.
Yeah, of all days, like coldest day on record, and we had a bit of fun doing it. Yeah, we prompted Shandy, to on a certain word pop up and give us your 5-10 second speech, and he just stood behind the fence. He didn't come up. It was funny. Got to fourth time lucky. We got there and he nailed it. So yeah, we had a bit of fun doing that.
We're going to be talking a lot in the show this week. We've got all sorts of the NCL stuff. Snowed off. It's a bit cold. It's a bit chilly. Jonesy, are you feeling cold this weekend?
No, I'm feeling a bit poorly, mate. I come back from Australia. It's like 30 degrees. And it's minus 500 over here. Everybody's full of pneumonia, and we've got 4 kids as well.
Yeah.
It's hard. Everybody's spluttering out there, but I'm all right. I'm getting a bit older. I'm just gonna ask Mickey what it was like to be in retirement for a bit, because it's on my mind more and more these days. But he spent a bit of time, and all those aches and pains in your joints, your muscles, did it subside? Did it go away? Is the light at the end of the tunnel?
Do you know what? They do go away. Yeah, you don't wake up Monday feeling sore. I am today, honestly. I've come back from the weekend and I feel like I'm hit by a bush, yeah. So that is the good thing, that you can get up in the morning and walk to the toilet without hobbling or crawling or whatever. But I don't know. I've missed these. I think I've missed these little bits of soreness and coming back. So yeah, it's short, but back into it now.
Was the itch just too big, Mickey? Did you need to come back for yourself mentally and your family?
I think so. Yeah. To be honest with you, I think you don't realise what you're going through when you're when you transition or you finish and you think you're going along all right. And to be honest with you, it's probably my missus, Kate. There's one thing I do respect about Kate. She's brutally honest in anything she says, and she just said, since you retired, you've been an absolute nightmare. Is there something particularly on it? You love that one, don't you?
Do you want to stick something in there, would you?
No, she is brutally honest.
And she just said to me, she said, listen, since you've retired, you've been horrendous. I've been thinking of ditching you and trading you in. So she didn't understand, and she said, the few days you went back, announcing coming back out of time, saying you're like a different person. So to me, that's showing that I mustn't have been ready to retire. And I've spoke to you before as well about when we had the interview a few weeks back. It was difficult. The transition was difficult. And looking back now, I probably wasn't ready for it. So I'm going to hopefully now finish on my terms and just give whether it's this last season, give me all, and then see what happens from there.
I've got to ask you, Mickey, your return coincides with Neil Duke's leaving. Now, from an external perception, you could think that there was a correlation there, but there was nothing in that at all. It was just complete coincidence.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, obviously, like you said, Dukes had made the decision to resign the Monday dinner time, and Kieran Perth asked me to come out of retirement Monday evening, and it's nothing to do with Dukes, because I had the respect. I think a lot about Neil. He made me club captain at this team, and he coached into Super League. So his work ethic. He put hours on. He worked hard, he worked tightly. And I just said to him, to respect me, they've asked me to come out of retirement, and he said, listen, if I was still in charge, I'd have definitely backed that decision. So yeah, nothing to do with Neil leaving at all. Me coming back.
I gutted the NCL game with Pats, and Thataway were called off. Devastated. The promo though has had some real good traction. We're just going to play it now for you. 30 seconds. Have a little watch of this.
I'm Sean O'Loughlin.
I'm Kevin Brown.
England captain and proud Wigan Warrior.
Warrington Wolves and England halfback.
It's hard to make it to the top.
We all started somewhere.
The dream starts here.
My dream started here.
I'll always be Wigan St Pat's.
We're the champions. We're Thataway.
Little promo there. I'm really proud of it, Jonesy, because people were saying it's better than the Super League promo.
Do you know what? Simple. We had this idea and we'd mapped it out in our mind, but because there was so much going on to prepare for NCL.
He give in.
No, I didn't give in. No, I didn't. Don't believe him. Talks waffle all day long.
in.
But what I said was, we've got the international captain here, Sean Loughlin, and what we don't want to do is put it on him at last minute. And credit to Sean, credit to Kevin Brown. They turned out within 24 hours' notice and put that together. And that's the real strength with these guys here, Alex and myself, is that relationship with the players. Yeah, and it just shows for me that they're so keen and passionate about the community game that they'll do anything to get out there and promote their grassroots where they came from.
Mickey, what were your amateur team?
Well, I did a little bit between Lee Mars and Lee East.
Which is your favourite though?
No, I'm putting you on it now. Close up on Mickey.
Do you know what? It's a tough one to call. Do you know why? Because
No. Don't sit on fence. No, you got to say one.
I need to go Lee Miners because I'm helping out coaching with them. So
Lee Miners.
Again,
So are you going to do the promo for Lee Miners?
I can do, yeah.
And your intros were at Prince of Ince.
Yeah, Inchwills, but that's the one
Well,
Prince
they're in
of
the same
Ince.
division this year, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in the same division,
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
something like that, can't we?
The big rivals as well. I hear Inch Rosebridge just beat Wigan St Pat's while we're on the subject quite
hammered
recently.
them.
In a recent, is it a charity game? Is it a special one?
Yeah, it is. It's an annual thing that they do every year for the Cliff Fleming Cup, and there's some major bragging rights. It's bigger than Wigan and Saints derby. You know what I mean? It's just I'm telling you, it is absolute bragging rights.
There were like over 1,000 people there. Something crazy.
Yeah. It's massive. It's massive because Inchwills Bridge in St Pat's is basically a canal that divides them. Do you know what I mean? You can throw a stone from one club to the next, and it's unreal, the rivalry.
The results from this week, we're going to pick a couple out and talk about them. Wakefield 22-4 victory against Huddersfield. Mickey, I want to give this to Woody, but you could have been playing in this game. Can we say that?
Well, you've said it, haven't you? Well, no, like I've always said, people ask me something, I won't lie to them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go and say stuff. But no, I did have contact with Chris Chester. You know, he had a couple of nines that have been down injured. You know, he said, you know, I've spoke to a few of the senior players, and they said somebody like yourself with the experience in that, you'd be great to come on board. And I'll tell you, it was literally a phone call away from me potentially playing against Huddersfield this week.
Probably not a bad thing because I wanted to be oldest player, and Ben Westwell's got me by a week. But you're nearly a full year older than me. You've been back in Super League, it'd have killed me off. But you're still feeling good. You're still feeling good though.
Do you know what? I played yesterday, and you know, I've had no pre-season. You know, I've not done a lot of sessions, miles in my legs on the field, and you know, I got through like 40 odd minutes yesterday, and people commented looking all right. So yeah, I'll take that to start.
What were his game score from yesterday?
To be fair, his stats were incredible. You know, like he said, not to do a pre-season.
You love that one, don't you?
Body language, arm round back, and all sort of here. Come here.
How many tackles did he do?
He did 23 tackles, 10 carries. You know, he did well. You know, he just said.
Oh, for look at that, Mickey. I expected at least
Not
4.
bad half a game, is it?
I'll give you that one, mate.
double it. You know what I mean? You're all right.
Pro rata.
Looking at Saints, a big win, 32-4 against Salford. Are we looking at the champions elect?
I think Saints are going to be, probably one of the strongest teams in Super League this year. I do. I think Salford are struggling, obviously. Yeah. Something going on there. Lost a couple of players. I think Ben Barber, obviously, he's a big contribution for them. You know, if he stays fit, I think that's when Saints are going to be at the strongest throughout the year.
Hull with a 21-12 victory over Warrington on Friday. The only game that made it in that freezing cold weather.
Yep.
Warrington lads had to get a train over.
Yep.
Fans couldn't get their M62 shut.
Yep.
Should the game have gone ahead?
I think it took 6 hours, having spoke to Kyle Luluai, and I think Willie Porchin at some point, wherever he was in Super League this week, he got stuck in a car for 6 to 8 hours, I think he was. There's some real nightmare experiences, and as a fan, I think you'd have been better off flying to London and driving up M1 to Hull to get there quicker. Joking, Simo, joking. It's a nightmare, isn't it? If you think about the preparation.
Should it have gone ahead, the game?
Yeah, why not? Why not? If you can get there, I can get there. And I keep banging this drum. As players, we like to be like firemen and army men, just ready to go, whatever, not making any excuses. You get a smack in mouth when you're playing a game of rugby league. You've just got to carry on, haven't you? And deal with whatever's thrown at you. But it's not ideal. But Hull needed a win as well. They've had a couple of losses. But it's interesting. I don't think you can make too many predictions. And I think we moved on pretty quick away from Wakefield, who have been outstanding at the start of this year. And also St Helens has started really, really well. But I don't think Saints started 2018, I think it started for them at the back end of 2017. They played some really good rugby at the back end of last year. And people like Ben Barber, as Woody said, have really come to fruition now. But what's really impressive for me is teams like Wakefield have maintained a little bit of that impressive form that they had last year. And it only makes for a fantastic prospective season this year.
One man who's not playing this week is Liam Watts. Bit of an head's gone, literally. Do you think that we're sending off? Because I thought maybe 10 minutes in the bin. Is the game going soft, Woody?
Yeah, it is a tough one. I mean, I tweeted about this. In the heat of the battle, you know, you can lose your head. I mean, we've all done silly things. I've had a few sending offs in my time. And do you know what? It is a tough one. When it's on TV and kids are seeing it, you don't want kids seeing it. You're role models at the end of the day. But I've just got this thing in the back of my head what's thinking, you know what? It's not as bad as what people are making it out to be.
Yeah, cartoons are different these days. I remember just watching E-Man, and there was a character called Ram Man who used to headbutt people like that all the time. Yeah. So it was in our cartoons as kids growing up. And I remember doing that remember Fi also played at Cass?
Yeah.
I almost did it to him in 2006. And when I got up, he just battered me. And we both got sin binned. But I will say, Woody, 10, 15 years ago, I reckon that would have been give over, lads, just get on with the game. Yeah. And it'd have been sort of rushing the carpet, Mickey.
I agree. You know, it weren't a clear head, but was it? It was just a bit of a two.
If it had splattered his nose all over the place.
Yeah, you know, Don Crosby were having a bit of a niggle anyway. And,
dominated him.
Yeah, and I think, you know, and I don't think Don Crosby were too bothered about it anyway. He just turned around like, you know, and I said maybe if that's in the NRL, they just they have a square up and they run off and get back to the line, or push with the mate for the next carry. So yeah, it's unfortunate. It's on telly. It's probably Liam Watts giving himself away a little bit by stopping and going and stirring around. So I think if they'd just nudged him and played the ball, he might have got away with it. But yeah, it's you need it now and again, that, don't you?
I think sometimes as well, it's player welfare gone mental in it. You know what I mean? There's a fine line between playing tough and player welfare, and I think he just stepped over the mark in terms of player welfare there. You know, you can't really be seen to be headbutting another player. That's probably crossing the line. But was it a really bad headbutt? Nah, it wasn't. It was just a touch of heads, wasn't it?
All right, this week we got snowed off in Batley, but we went to the train station and met Danny Morn, and the VIP, the mayor, invited us along because Morn had this mad idea to put a welcome to Batley sign, home of the Batley Bulldogs, in the train station. It's been a great success. Let's go over now and see Mr. Batley himself, Danny Morn. One of the finest places in the rugby league fraternity is Batley, without a doubt. I love coming over here, seeing my old mate Danny Mornino, and we're here for a very special reason today, Danny. Tell us all about why we're here.
Yeah, we've a few weeks back I went to Huddersfield Town and I seen an idea on their platform, and I thought Batley, the best kept secret in Batley is Batley Rugby League, and passionate about the club. And we came down, had a few meetings with Gwen Lowe, Northern Rail. Some great help off VP Signs to create something that I think you'll all enjoy. So I know how passionate you all are about this station and the history of it, and I think you'll enjoy what we've got here for you.
What I love as well is the rich history of Batley, and a bit of a sad fact is the only club never to lose a Challenge Cup final, and that's true. Played in 3-1-3. Gwen, tell us about what Batley means to the community.
Oh, obviously Batley's really important to the community. I'm Batley born and bred, and I'm really proud. I'm also a councillor, but I also have the great honour of being the chair of the Friends of Batley Railway Station. But Batley Railway Station is the gateway into Batley, and hence this is why we're here today. I'm really grateful to VP Signs for supporting us in making this dream come true. But I think the greatest honour for me here today is that Batley had one of the greatest rugby players, 1896-1912, Watty Davis.
A legend.
And I am absolutely delighted to say that we have got John Davis, and this is Watty's grandson.
Let me get in here, let's talk to John. John, it's we've got a special shirt to present you with shortly, but and it's got a picture of your granddad. What do you remember about your granddad?
Well, he was 74 when I was born, but he died 40 years later, so I actually remember him quite well. But then I realised gradually that he had a reputation around the place. People kept saying, "Oh, are you Watty's grandson?" I said, "Yeah." I wasn't quite sure why then, particularly. And it gradually dawned that he was a pretty good rugby player.
Just a bit. Kev, let's bring Kev as well, chairman of Batley Bulldogs.
Yeah, indeed.
Kev, obviously you must be really proud today. Another great marker for the club in the community.
Yeah, I'm a town fan as well, so obviously when Danny mentioned this,
to be the same as Huddersfield Town. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm just a bit concerned that Gwen must have spoke to my wife because she thinks nagging gets somewhere as well. So it's a great day for the town, this, as far as I can see, and a great day for our club. So we're very, very proud of what's about to be revealed.
Money, let's no further ado, let's get unveiling. Just to get a balanced view of Batley and the club, I've got Brad Day here. Brad, tell us a bit about, obviously, Morney's involvement in the sign, because I personally, I'm not sure. I think he's picked it himself here.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's still hasn't even put ball down. He still thinks he's a player. You want to see him on game day. He's taking his pre-workout before game. He's trying to take lads off rugby so he can get a rub. I know he's doing his training.
I don't know if I think we all knew that Danny's career were over when 40-odd-year-old Tommy Martin ghosted past him in the Legends game. Did you know that? Did you realise then that he had nothing else to give?
Oh, we knew that before. You should have seen him talking it up. We've got a thing at Batley, don't give you inside shoulder. We're all there watching it, crowd. Next minute, he gives his inside shoulder.
Toronto, it must be, it must look at the smile. Everyone looks forward to going to Toronto. It's a great trip for lads who, obviously lads sometimes work part-time, have got jobs, and all of a sudden get to go to Toronto to play rugby. It's the dream.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to go. It's going to be a massive experience. Like last year, it was nice to go to Toulouse. We went like 3 times, to be fair. We got a bit sick of it towards the end, but Toronto, that's going to be a new adventure and I can't wait.
Mate, best of luck this year, mate. Top man. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Outstanding, as always, to go and see Morning. He's getting a bit of stick there from Brad Tagg about not putting the ball down, taking pre-workout for running the cone on. He's not ready to retire. I think he's another one.
Yeah, he must be the one that can't let it go. Yeah, pre-workout tea on that touch. He gets to that field quick, innit?
He gets a rub down. He gets a rub down pre-game as well. Lads have to rag him off the bed now. Mickey, Mr. and Mrs. is a new game we've been playing. Well, lads, how would you get on with Kate for 10 questions? Out of 10, how many would you get, do you reckon?
I think I'll be up there. Yeah, 8, 9. I reckon we'll not be far off.
Gab's got 8. 8.5. Mitch Gabbs, he's in the lead so far, but Jenna and Danny Brough have taken the challenge. Brough, you've had some memories playing against him. He's a referee, he's a leader. He
kick a ball, yeah. He's when he's on his game, he's one of the best halfbacks around, isn't he? He can kick you to death. He's got a running game as well, so yeah.
So let's watch Jenna and Danny Brough take on Mr. and Mrs.
Hi, Danny Brough, Huddersfield Giants, here to do with the Mr. and Mrs.
Jenna Brough.
Wife of Danny Brough.
Wife of Danny Brough.
I'd like to probably say my mates in Albury, the Capri.
Tattoo.
Tattoo. You've been twice in your life. Everest.
Guinness World Record.
Yeah, for climbing.
Kilimanjaro.
Oh. Do you know when he answers me the question, you've got to write something.
I can't do it any
I can't
quicker.
sit there like that waiting for you to write something.
I can't do any quicker.
I'd probably say Jenna's best friend would be her sister. Oh, about time.
Is it something like Alvin and the Chipmunks?
I didn't even give an answer. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Was it?
You're not good at this, are you? I'd probably say where we got married, me, Cyprus. I bet she's put Thailand. Come on. Knew it. So wedding were useless then. Lionel Richie.
Oh.
Hang on. Turn your board.
Can I change it?
Adele. You've never listened to... Get off.
I like that song.
Oh, I know what she's... Oh, God. She's going to say something like chili, but it ain't right good. So I'm going to say the best meal she can cook is Sunday dinner. What do you want? Beans on toast. You burn it. You can't do that. When have you made me beans on toast? I want to know. Never. So how could you write beans on toast and say I'm getting it wrong?
On the game day, I'm making poached eggs.
Well, why don't you write poached eggs?
Forgot about that.
A self and a phone, 100%.
I said the man is still drunk.
Now you want you to save yourself on your phone. I'm gonna guess brown. What colour has you got? Hazel! It's either brown, blue or green. Hazel's a brown. Bigger than me. 8. Yeah.
Four and a half. The Brough scored. Pretty feeble, that Jonesy. That's got to be. It's going to take some beating.
What's going on there? I thought it'd have been pretty good. It's hard though, isn't it? Because sometimes I keep asking myself what I'd be like with my wife, and I think she'd quite try to second guess me.
What's Emma's favourite perfume?
Good question, Sumo. I don't know. Maybe I won't do as well.
9 out of 10 already.
Yeah.
Taking us into the break, it's the newlywed Mark Flash Flanagan, the Salford skipper, as we test him out at Getting to Know You. Keep it locked, keep it Rugby AM.
Oh, that's a good question. From a rugby sense, I used to love watching Brad Fittler when he played in Australia, and thought he was so skillful, so tough on the field, and from a rugby sense, he was one of my idols growing up. Probably working in my coffee shop called Pot Kettle Black in Manchester City Centre. Nice little plug there. I used to go watching Oldham Athletic as a kid, being from Oldham, but I was a big fan of Alan Shearer as well, so I used to like Newcastle as well. I make a really good chili con carne, so I'll probably say that. I like Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. It used to be John Wilkin, but now Luke Burgess has signed for Salford. I think he's overtaken him. Winning the grand final with St Helens in 2014. Probably one of the injuries I've had. I think it was 2013. Played Hull KR and I snapped my cruciate in my knee, and that was pretty tough. I like Kick-Ass, I like that movie, so I'll probably say that's a bit different. I watched the Arctic Monkeys when they first started in Blackpool at the Empress Ballroom, and there was only about 500,000 people there, and that was amazing. Rugby AM, obviously. Probably get a G-Wagon, Mercedes Jeep, pimped up. New York with the lads. Hawksmoor in Manchester's steak place, that's really good. And my dad was all right.
Welcome back to Rugby AM here on Free Sports, part 2, and we always start part 2, Jonesy, with a social roundup. We've had some great tweets and Instagrams and Facebooks this week. Firstly, life made for Sam Burgess, as he got a special delivery of Burgess tea from Yorkshire Tea.
How's he done that?
I don't know.
How's he done that?
He's the magic man.
We love Yorkshire Tea, obviously, and I ain't had a cup. I've been off tea and coffee since Christmas. I decided not to have any this year because I love it. I love it, and I usually have 8 or 9 cups a day. But I remember when we had the Ward of the Roses last year, it got abused by that man over there.
Oh, how dare you? How very dare you?
That was wrong, because I'm the same. I'm about 10, 12 cups of tea, coffee a day. You know, I'm addicted to the stuff.
Do you have Yorkshire tea? Or?
Yeah, I have Yorkshire tea as well. When we got Costco, we buy a big, massive bag, so it's in our house constantly.
Other teas are available, by the way.
Yeah. Life made also for Chris Green as he welcomed baby Amelia, him and Shan, into the world. Mum and baby doing well. £10, 10 ounces.
Wow.
She's a big one. She's a big girl.
Good one. Lads, a lot of lads doing a lot of breeding these days. A lot of kids coming into Super League, but £10, massive.
That's a beast, isn't it? So is it another rugby player in the making? Is she another rugby player in the making? You don't know, but
he's big, though, he's Greeny.
Yeah, big tall thing. So yeah, it's in the genes, as they say.
Now, a little video sent from the lovely Kimu, Mrs. Wagger Godwin. She sent this as Wagger obviously burning his energy off as he's got his game day prep. There were no game this week for Batley, so this is his recovery from his non-game day out in the snow. Check this out. Go! Jonesy's there in his Yorkshire pants as well, repping.
Outstanding. I'd be more concerned about the social services coming down a bit later on. But he's crackers, in it. He's as mad as they come, but we love him, Wagger, and a lot of fans at Rugby AM.
Right, going over to the other side of the pond, show inspiration, Bo Ryan, dressing up in drag for the Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras Festival. Ever been dragged up, Mickey?
I've been dragged up as a kid, but not in that sense. So no, fair play to him for doing his part there. You know, obviously he's confident in his own whatever it's called. You know, that's the one, mate. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can sell that or not, but
good. And also, one accessory that might have suited him would be a little dog. And we got Jamie Corden here taking his dog for a puppuccino. Just no, Jamie. No. Do you reckon would you take your Bauer for a puppuccino?
No.
Would you take?
Nah.
Yeah, you would.
You would. Little pugs.
I've got my little French bulldogs, so possibly, yeah.
Yep. Suit you. Also, Aaron Bauer getting stuck into one of your teammates, and you've got a great story about this man. Kurt Baptiste, one game at Lee, he's gone back to Sydney Roosters. Not a bad trade-off.
No, he's done all right. Then picked up a bit of coin over and then gone back home. But no, pretty quiet fella, to be honest. I don't think he quite settled. I believe his wife found it difficult. He had an injury, obviously an opportunity to come back up, which I think he wanted to. I think he wanted to stay over in the first place. I think there was some deal with Canberra that he moved off the cap for some reason. So, but no, just on the story. One of his first few days here, he don't say a lot. Pretty quiet bloke. I'm just in Costa with a few of the lads, and he come in so I said, "Hi mate, how you doing?" He says, "Yeah, I'm alright." I said, "Do you want a coffee?" He said, "Yeah, go have a flat white."
You bought a coffee?
Yeah. So I bought this guy a coffee. I'll do the right thing. I weren't happy about buying him the coffee, but I thought I might get one back before he goes home. You know what I mean? But obviously that's not going to happen. But yeah, I bought him the coffee, sat down, and literally just having a bit of a chat. Didn't say much. He drank his last sip of his coffee. Said, "Right, I'm off now, fellas." I was like, "Well, just bought the guy a coffee." And as soon as he's drunk, he's left. It's like, at least give me 5 minutes of your time after buying your coffee. But no, he was a pretty quiet fella. Didn't know too much about him, and obviously now he's had an opportunity back home, and he's took it with both hands and ran. So
now they say, who needs enemies when you got friends like this? Paul Wood tweeting about your retirement dinner that people should have a full refund.
How bad's that? I had officially retired. You know what I mean? But
what do you do now? Do you have to refund? What's crack there? There's a moral issue there.
Well, do you know what? It weren't even like a retirement dinner. It was like a thank you dinner. But like a lot of the funds raised, Paul, went to Lee Miners, the Thomas Hale Youth charities, and he's Paul's absolutely
little part.
Yeah, he has, yeah. For for his own persona.
Followers.
Yeah, to get a few more followers, try and catch me up. I don't know what, I'm not sure what.
But while you're here, Mickey, Dom Littlewood is just about to walk in. don't get Dom.
Have you seen the programme, that Dom Littlewood? He comes in like, you know, Rogue Traders and all that. He's trying to get me on that. Turn the camera off.
Oh dear. Lastly, Eddie Hearn having a meeting with Mark Foster and Ralph Rimmer. Now, Eddie Hearn, obviously, a darts mogul. You're not too sold because it's a different kind of crowd and mentality, rugby league and darts.
I won't say I'm not sold. I think he's a genius, and I've read a little bit about Barry Hearn, and I think he's a bit of an inspiration as far as reviving sport goes. Matchroom, I'm a big fisherman, I love fishing, so Fishing Mania. I think he was big friends with Steve Davis, which started the snooker off. Yeah. And obviously what he's done with darts is phenomenal, so if they can bring a little bit of excitement,
sparkle.
I love it. Matchroom sparkle to rugby league. Then I'm all for it. He's a very clever guy. We've met him a couple of times when we walked the belt out with Josh Warrington, and that's what we need. Somebody like him who's going to come up and rejuvenate.
What do you reckon, boys? Because if I were a betting man, I'd be saying Magic Weekend, Challenge Cup final, an event that he can get his teeth into and sell and make his money. RFL make their money. That seems to be the most sensible thing for me. Would you like to see Eddie Hearn in rugby league?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the sports that he has got involved in, he has promoted them really well and they've took off. And I was speaking to Richie Mathers a couple of weeks ago, and since I've left Warrington, what I have noticed is that the off-field, you know, experience has really, you know, rejuvenated. You know, it's really took off. And Richie Mathers said to me, it's got to be more about the experience than just the result. If we're relying on teams winning to keep the fans in the stadiums and buying season tickets, then the teams that ain't winning are going to be not successful, and the teams that are winning are going to be successful. So it's got to be more about the experience, and I really buy into that.
One man who knows the Hearns inside out is Dave Allen from the PDC. He's Barry Hearn's right-hand man. He's been with him since 2004. We went over and caught up with him and talked to him about how the Hearns getting involved could work for the sport, and also the way that the PDC's been marketed. It's quite an interesting chat. Check this out. This is Dave Allen from the PDC. One of my big passions with rugby, and when we started, was to break boundaries and reach outside of the sport to showcase the personalities not only in rugby league, but get some celebrities, some other sportsmen. That's this man, Dave Allen from the PDC, who've been allowed to work with the darts players, meeting Peter Snakebite Ryan. As you can see in the background, everything's being set up for another exciting night of darts. But rugby league's at your soul, Dave, and before you were into the darts, you're very much a massive rugby league fan.
Yeah, I was first taken down to Headingley to watch Leeds as a 3 or 4 year old back in the mid 80s, and my dad used to plonk me on the north stand wall. He'd go off and stand with his friends and leave me down on the paddock wall at the front there. And it's a game that I'm lucky enough I was involved as a fan back in those early days, and went on to work in a media capacity and work with the Super League website for a few years through to 2004 when I joined the PDC. And still lucky enough sometimes to get back to Headingley or get to other games when I can. The Challenge Cup final this year was great because it's the first time that I've not been away on the darts tour in Australia and New Zealand in August for a few years. So I get back to watch when I can. But there's obviously a lot of tie-ins with the rugby league as well. So quite a few of the players support different teams. We can have a bit of fun, bit of banter, and try and watch the games when we can as well.
To see the rise of the darts is great for the darts, but it's also tough sometimes to see a sport in rugby league which we know has got so much potential, yet still struggles commercially, still struggles to catch up to rugby union. Obviously the big threat, in our opinion, is the NRL.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think those international competitions are certainly the thing. The big thing that rugby league has in its favour is the product. The players are fantastic. As a spectacle to watch on television or to be at live, it's wonderful, and I'm often extolling the virtues to people in the darts to try and get them along to a game. The big thing, I guess, in that sense is how it's marketed, and maybe over the last 5 to 10 years certain areas have slipped, and I know there are challenges within the game at the moment. Certainly the strength of the NRL is something that commercially they've got the pulling power. Their salary cap's going up, and I think over in the UK it's a bit stagnant at the moment. And obviously in rugby league, Toronto have come into the competition. There may be New York in the future, and that's great because internationalising the game is really important. And we've seen now that 22% of our World Championship tickets for this year have been sold to German fans who are coming across to England. They might take in a football game as well, but then they'll come to the darts. So I think, creating something that you can take worldwide is really important, and you can see the shoots of that at the moment with some of the Super League clubs going down to Australia. Toronto have been a huge success, I think, in their first year. So hopefully Rugby League's taking strides towards that as well.
One thing we spoke about is globalisation and the fact that a global audience has actually helped drive the revenue in the UK, and that's something that really needs to be considered, because I hear some people moaning about Toronto and moaning about New York, but actually all it's going to do is increase the rights money from TV.
Absolutely, and in the darts, when I first joined back in 2004, we didn't really stage any tournaments outside of the UK and Ireland, never mind Europe and the world. Now we've got so many TV partners that this event here in Wolverhampton and the World Championship, they'll be seen in over 100 countries worldwide.
Unbelievable.
We've managed to build up a network of international broadcast partners who take all the events either live or through highlights, and that obviously brings in a valuable income stream that we can then put into the prize money for the players. That's increased the professionalism of the sport, and on the back of that, we've been able to introduce our World Series. So we've got a European tour where we stage 13 events across Europe during the year, but the World Series came in 2012 with events in Dubai and Sydney. This year we've had 7 international events in Dubai, Shanghai, Las Vegas, Melbourne, Auckland, Perth and Germany. So, to take those events worldwide, the host broadcasters get a darts tournament, the fans get a chance to go and play in it, to go and watch it, and the local players get a chance to qualify to play. So there's something there for everybody, for the broadcaster, the fan and the player, to help grow the sport in China, in America, in New Zealand, in Australia. So it's, for us, it's been a big part of what we've done, and that obviously helps the game at the top level, because we're starting now to see players coming through from those territories, winning TV titles, so that they're being competitive at the top.
And it's so important as well to give that seed of hope to a young Chinese boy who's sat there, who's watching his hero, and it's a real pathway now to being a professional.
Yeah, I mean, going back to rugby league, I suppose when I was a kid growing up, Gary Schofield was my hero, and being able to go and watch him at Leeds and training at Leeds, and he'd come down and take training sessions, that was a huge thing for me. And now when we go worldwide, I've seen it where, say, we went to Japan a couple of years ago, and the reception that Peter Wright got, and the fans there was a queue about 200 yards long to get autographs and pictures with Peter. But the players themselves have become the brand, and I guess like the Super League clubs have their own specific brand and identity, that's what we have with the players. So Peter Wright's got snakebite, and he is instantly recognisable as the darts player with the colourful Mohican. Michael Van Gerwen with the green shirt, with the brand. So the players have built that up now, and everywhere you go around the world, they're being recognised for what they are.
I believe that you're only as strong as the people in your camp in any organisation. You speak a lot of sense, you've got loads of experience. If the RFL came knocking, would you come and help save our sport?
Obviously, I'd do anything.
Back to the promised land of Leeds.
Anything I could to help rugby league. It's fantastic. I mean, look, I'm wonderfully happy with the job that I'm doing with Barry Hearn, and I know that the rugby league have spoken.
Would you bring Barry with you?
I'd love to, honestly. I encourage Barry. London Broncos hosted a couple of games at Barry's Matchroom Stadium where Leyton Orient play, and I try to encourage Barry to try and get the Broncos on board there, because I think had they moved there instead of Barnet a few years back, that may have been a really successful move for them. They opted to go to Barnet, and obviously things didn't necessarily work out as it was. But I'd have loved for Barry to have been more involved than he has been so far. And from my side, I'm constantly singing the sport's praises. And we've obviously spoken many times with the rugby league guys. About different things, and we always like to help. I think I'm probably fairly well settled within the darts now, but you never know what happens in the future.
It's awesome to hear from Dave there. He's a proper rugby league fan, and he's got loads of opinion about the game. You're quite impressed with him, Mickey?
Yeah, very impressed. The words he was saying, and the plans that like I say he's done in the other sports to really build it up and market it, all across the globe. And he's keen for the other countries they were trying to potentially talking about it now. I think if we want the game to grow, which we do, people have their doubts about Toronto, but what they do on social media and the coverage they're getting, it is great for the sport. So there's some players they've attracted now. It's if you want to go forward, why not give it a go? It's I think it possibly could be the way forward. You know, hopefully get I think there's talk about NRL getting involved in stuff as well. Whether we take some games against each other when it's pre-season. So if I don't know, there's a lot of options to explore. And if you can get a bloke like these guys, you know, the Hearns, you know, on board, we can, you know, you never know what can happen.
Jones, you mentioned that you're going to Australia there. Now, you've just come back from it. I want to ask you, is the Australia trip, from a player's point of view, worthwhile? Because you came back, you lost against Widnes. You had 5 guys go down from that game.
Yep.
Is it not a bit of a pain in the bum going over there?
No, it's worth it. Hull come back, they lost. Wigan come back, they lost. And they probably had it tougher than we did because they were over there a couple of weeks and had a shorter turnaround as well. But I think if we're going to continue to try and put in place the things that we need to do to get the game more global, then so be it. I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
We had a couple of experiences at Warrington, didn't we? We trained with Sydney Swans, wasn't it? AFL, and again, just that family culture they create. Like, a new player comes into the ranks, it's like they make a big, massive deal about it. You know, make them welcome, this and that. It's really something I think you could learn off, and I don't know. There's certainly no harm in giving some kids an opportunity to potentially, you know, because some kids will grasp all that and really be committed, because you get your kids that want to do stuff and are talented. You know, some kids do fizzle out, they go into different things, but no, I think it's fantastic.
One thing I took from that training session was how they caught the ball in the air, 2 hands right above them. Like, I know sometimes Rugby League used to catch the ball like through the gate, but the Swans players straight up in the air and they were catching it like basketballers.
Yeah, one of the things that from that experience with training with the Swans, I felt taking into the following year was how strong our full-back and our wingers were at the back and got us on the front foot. And I've put that down to when working with the Sydney Swans and the things that they learned from them. So I think that was a really powerful exercise for us that year.
We're talking about your old club there, Warrington. Now, we went over and they took on the Resource Crossbar Challenge. They did pretty well. This is Warrington, and there's a special shot in here. Check this out. Warrington Resource Crossbar Challenge.
Pat Warren Walls front row.
Not raised, Pat.
Toby King, centre.
Nice toes.
Brad pinned it, hook it.
Kevin Brown, aka Meerkat.
That's Clark, Warrington 9.
Harvey look at loose forward.
On. Yeah, 170.
Sorry, Lynham, winger.
Mitch Brown, squad number 21.
Taylor Crowell, reserve.
Ben Curry, Chips and Curry.
Jack Johnson, fullback.
George King, forward.
Preston Goodwin, number 3.
Betty Westwood, anywhere upfield.
Matthew Russell, winger. Chris Hill, aka Rob Cross.
Joe Philbin, hometown hero.
Steph Ratchford, number 1.
Lewis Johnson, second row.
That's horrible, that.
Warrington there with hitting the crossbar once with a great shot. Right, team of the week this week in the fullback position, Ben Barber. On the wing, Ben Jones-Bishop. Carlos Tumavave and Bill Tupu in the centres. Tom Davis, the young Wigan warrior, in the other wing. In the halves, George Williams back in form from Wigan. Mark Sneed at Hull FC. Props, familiar story, Alex Walmsley. Alongside him, his partner in crime and captain James Roby. Big Scott Taylor getting Hull over the line after Watsy got sent off. Back row, a player you really respect, Liam Farrell from Wigan. And Matty Ashurst, I think, a man who's been really unlucky not to get an England call-up. And in loose, Dean Hadley from Hull FC. Loads of experience last year and he's taking that into his Hull career this year. Back some good players there, Jonesy.
Some good back rows there. Matty Ashurst, real grafter, probably massively underrated. He's a fantastic player. And yeah, good group there. I couldn't argue with a single one. Great to see Liam Farrell back out there. I do rate him, respect him. And I think players like him who don't always, make the grand headlines are the real key ingredients behind getting the big results.
Something we've got to mention, we've got a business lunch coming up for all you business people out there who want to come and visit Rugby M. 2 special talkers. We've got Paul Caddick, the legend Leeds owner. He's done so much great work at the club, hasn't he, Jonesy?
Done a lot of building, mate.
Yeah, nah.
Built a lot of buildings.
And your best friend, Kevin Sinfield, the legend that is.
Well, he's been an inspirational human being in my career, so yes, very close friend and always a wealth of knowledge behind what he's got to share with people.
If you want to win some goodies, get yourself on rugbym.co.uk. Loads of competitions going on there at the moment. Lastly, boys, thank you for coming, Mickey. It's great to see you back, mate.
Thank you very much, great to be back.
You need some wins, don't you?
We do, desperately.
Woody, great to see you again. Back next week with Adrian Morley, another one of your great friends and another Warrington legend.
Yeah. Moz, I looked up to Moz before I even, shared a field with him. So it'd be really good to sit down and have a good chat with Moz, funny bloke.
Jonesy, another good week at Rugby M. Are you happy with things and you happy going forward this week? Hull at home, a tough game for Leeds.
Yeah, it's great in Super League, isn't it? And lots of good stuff. Really disappointed last week with missing out on the NCL game. The first one, having had so much work going to it, but we can look forward to the next one.
Yeah, Rochdale, Egremont.
Another week's preparation. Egremont, wow, some experiences going up there with Stanley. But it's fantastic and we love it. Just can't wait to get it on Rugby M Live.
Yeah, we'll see you Rugby M Live this Saturday. Paul Wood's going to be there, Lee Breers, yourself, Jonesy, Rochdale Mayfield versus Egremont. And we'll see you back here next week on Free Sports with a legend, the one, the only, Adrian Morley. Keep it locked, keep it Rugby M. God bless.